Madam Chair, dear ladies and gentlemen, Central African Republic ratified 47 conventions of the International Labour Organization. Women were most represented in social affairs, health, the civil service, and financial and budget. National document on employment policy adopted on 4 November 2016. This policy covers 4 sections, namely mining, forestry, infrastructure, and agriculture. The public sector is male-dominated. Women's low educational level and the qualifications diminish their participation in the labor market and in certain jobs. Employment population below international poverty line by sex and age. When we're using such kind of a line of data of UN Women, for example, 58.7% of women under the line of poverty. But it's UN Women data 2021. It's not maybe exact, just clarification. The gender wage gap, men and women in the civil service in on average 40.6. In the health sector, the gap is 28%. The law prohibits sexual harassment, but the government does not effectively enforce the law. The law prescribes no specific penalties for the crime, especially in workplaces. We say about investigations and criminal cases in workplaces, sexual harassment. It's not a common cases as a harassment. Discrimination against women occurs in all sectors of the economy. And in rural areas where traditional practices that favor men remain widespread. The law sets is a standard work week of 40 hours in the government employees, but there are really 52 hours. The household's provisions discriminate against women who are mainly the household employees. Overtime policy varies according to the workplaces. There is no legal prohibition of excessive of compulsory overtime. Violations of overtime policy may be referred to the Minister of Labour directly to the Labour Code. How many overtime violations have been reported, for example, investigated? There are many questions at the same time. Labour conditions, safety standards in the workplaces which are under the risk and concern of our committee. UPR related its recommendation to the amend Article 252 of the Labour Code to combat occupation, segregation, and gender stereotyping. What state did, especially on this point, implementation? We have information about the Muslim women faces with multiple violence in labour sector. Limitations their participation, especially in civil service and different public formal sectors. What about the representation of religious and ethnic minorities in civil service and formal employment sector? Data. What during these difficult situations government do, especially fighting with the gender gap in labour sector? Social security coverage, benefits, measures to address sexual harassment in workplaces. Very important sides with the mining in the sector of the economic. Working conditions and mining in the industrial sectors, especially how the state protecting the woman representation at the same time, but at the same time safe conditions in this sector of work. There are many points. I want to go to stay in 2 more. What are the timelines for incorporating ILO Violence and Harassment Convention, and how do you see to implement 47 ILO conventions which implemented, ratified by your country, how you will make the assessment and how you will implement that in the future generations, because it's difficult directly during the war situation, including the conflict situation, financial problems, COVID-19 problems directly internally during these years in your country. And last question, with the suspension of the Parity Act, how will women be assured an equal participation in labour market initiatives? Thank you very much.